Without further ado, guys, we are here live. First day. Dragon Ball Super card game has posted 5 hours ago. So at 6 a.m. they posted this. I was deep sleep. That SS3 right here pulled up on the screen, this announcement. It came from being on the watch list, right, to getting off the watch list. And then after collecting more and more data from the regionals, which Banda actually collected those deck lists and looks at them, they were like, okay, let's go and temporarily ban it, right? So let's just call it a ban for now, because when it comes back, right, is when Series 5 drops. So who knows how relevant it's going to be. Hopefully people get a little bit attached to the World Martial Arts leaders and the Series 5 leaders, which Shenron's definitely pulling my interest there.
Yeah, the wish mechanic is interesting.
And I feel like they're relying on that to pull people off this when it comes back off the watch list. But if it doesn't, then once again, data, and I'm sure they'll do something. But for now,
they're doing everything wrong,
ban.
though. It's like, oh, we're going to watch it. It's not a problem. Rudagon won like 2 events. So off the watch list, and then automatically out of nowhere, oh no, we messed up, ban. And they're going to constantly do that, where it's gonna be unbanned. It's going to be a problem again. I'm not saying it's going to be the best leader when the new set comes out, but let's watch it, everyone playing it, because it's ramp and untap 3. You're able to play 4 drops without worrying about
no punishment.
No punishment. Yeah. Now, like blue green, as strong as blue green was, it was only good with this leader. Every other deck, they can't untap. So they play a 4 drop.
It was too slow and it was too risky.
Yeah, too risky. So untap in this game was huge, and this leader didn't know about it. So I hope people still know how to play.
Yeah, it's definitely going to cut some decks out of the meta. Like you said, a lot of these control decks were relying on SS3, right, to counter and hedge against these aggro decks. Now we're going to see the aggro decks kind of have a field day again, but who knows with World Martial Arts here. We're going to try out some leaders. We haven't really seen them in action yet. Yeah. We've only just seen them, read them, but look at Tournament of Power, right? We saw them, read them. We were like, set sucks.
Went on people's heads.
Irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know, I think you could probably pull up our podcast about that, and we were just like the least excited, right? But now with World Martial Arts Tournament, who knows? Things can get shaken up again. There's a lot of cards that are printed at the low cost curve that can actually fit. Some of them that help out aggro, some of them that help out control and other viable strategies like World Announcer.
Well, okay, but World Announcer is not really a control deck. It has a bunch of negates, but it doesn't control like what this guy did. This guy was the embodiment of control for this game. Him gone, what control can we see? What mid-range could we see?
You'll probably see some mid-range in the form of Jackie Chun, and well, the thing is, those decks are so linearized. Like I've seen Jackie Chun lists, and they just utilize the same package that Rudagarn is doing, which is the deadly combo here. We actually have them here of Unyielding Spirit Trunks, and then the Bardock family. I know. I'm just saying. Well, the 1-2 swap package utilizes these cards, and I think these are the real problem cards that the game is really
it's huge.
Pushed to use, right? Because we now know the value of untapping energy, right?
The fact that they went to a ban, it's like, okay, cool, they did a ban list straight. So now they're broke the barrier where it's like, okay, you can touch cards. They don't want to errata cards, understandable, because then it gets confusing for players. But just keep up, if anything. They made mistakes printing out some cards. They became too strong. You can't ban Bardock. There's no way. The value of the game is people are going to get pissed because they spend X amount of dollars on Bardock. But he definitely should be errated to only Goku lineage leaders. Makes just sense. So Rudagon can't play blue-yellow. Unyielding Trunks, get him banned. At this point, just get him banned. He's way too good.
So good.
Marcel made that card too good.
Just get rid of him. And you know what? Red-blue might not see as well as played just to push out. So there's things that they need to do. They hit the curve right now, hitting a ban list. Now the restriction list and ban list add more cards. If they added more or just errated certain cards,
adding more, I think is great.
They can change this format completely.
Yeah.
Literally, these 3 cards, like the 2 that you showed, and this, wherever this picture is, these 3 cards are the problem with the game right now. Once these get fixed, the game is in such a healthy state that everything's going to be okay. Maybe I play the 9-drop Rudagon. Ooh. That thing really exists. No one knows. There was a glare in that, and no one saw it. My bad. Sorry, guys.
So you said SS3's coming back for set 5, right?
Yes.
So there's cards out there that kind of happen to make it more balanced when it comes out.
Yes, we already know about the silver bullet cards that Bandai is printing, which would have probably been a waste now that they banned SS3, right? So they probably want to see
what's gonna happen
how their silver bullet idea works, because the first time they did it, it worked. So that's just completely gone. You have not seen 1 inch of that man since Cronulla was printed, and now you're going to see a few more silver bullet cards, and I guess Bandai is going to sit back, watch the tournament results, get the data once again, and see what happens.
Yeah, but that's also not a healthy way of fixing a game, is printing out cards, because then I can't enjoy certain other cards because I'm like, oh wait, shoot guys, I'm too scared. I gotta make sure I put Corona, whatever.
Corona, yeah.
The one
party
drop,
name.
at least there's always gonna be 3 on my side deck, so my side deck is automatically 12. And let's say more problems come out. Oh, but I need to have this card for this.
Now your side deck is the same.
It's always gonna be the same. Where it's like, oh, this for this for this, and that just sucks. Like, fix the card. Don't bring out cards to answer it, because that means I have to add it.
I agree, and I think they're breaking the ice here, right, with the ban list. They finally got enough. I guess they felt like the player base was comfortable enough. Most of them coming from Yu-Gi-Oh, most of them coming from Magic. There's ban lists in both those games. There's even a ban list in Pokemon. People don't know about it because they have rotation. But even with rotation, things get out of order.
Isn't that what happens with Magic? They rotate and
ban? And they ban. Yeah. Like they mess up. They print. I mean, it's a flaw that every card game. It's just card games. You have masterful minds like the ones next to me that will eventually break your game. Because they're putting in hours and hours and hours, much more hours than you probably put into playtesting or making the card, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then they get innovative and they start doing other things. Like Marcel's been on this card since it got released. You know, like the unyielding spirit trunks and being able to untap energy, and like that was something that was he was on.
Strike trunks,
exactly.
Like, oh, you're tapped out. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go for.
I mean, and other people were still on it in the form of Soul Striker Goku, but that was a little bit more control version. That was a little bit it didn't require much thought. This requires a lot of thought, because you're like, I'm going -1, so I need to be doing something huge, right? And then you end up doing something huge, and then it's unfair.
It extends what you could do.
Exactly.
In your turn.
And a lot of people undervalue that, because how far can you go, right? And then you don't see it.
This game is an energy-based game, so if you can cheat out energy,
you're
breaking the game.
Just like in any game, even in Magic, there's Tron that cheats out energy, right?
No doubt,
and things like that. But
I like this question where it's like, what's the new mono blue control leader? Yeah, it's definitely going to be Soul Striker. That's the only one that we know.
Mono blue is going to be Iron Bow.
Yeah, you think that? That's fine.
He benefits the most of having blue as all his energy.
You're not wrong. We did say mono blue, but like from control, I can see Soul Striker doing something. But at least Iron can swing, draw a card, and not have to worry about being awakened. So that's another beneficial.
I think that Soul Striker is going to be every other color.
Yeah,
you can do blue, yellow, blue, red, and blue, green, but mono blue should probably stick to.
In a meta like this, it seems like the untap 2 energies seem too important. Drawing 2 cards.
Well, if you think about it like this, if you awaken with starter Goku on a turn, and then he attacks awakened, he is untapping 2. But he's also drawing 2. So he's both.
That's if you awaken on your turn.
Yeah.
What if your opponent swings with 1/2 swap?
Well,
and you have 1 energy.
Don't tap out. That's pretty much that's an adaptation play. You know what I mean?
Iron Vow, I feel like Iron Vow obviously getting the spotlight off for Marcel, being the first player to actually move that into a top cut of any regional. It's something that I felt like got an aggro like vibe off to it. I don't feel like you're not gonna see when you talk about mono blue. A lot of people generalize mono blue with mid range control. I think your deck is just very aggressive because it doesn't have any of those bomb cards that you like playing. Like, for example, control mid-range, you got Annalisa and Kami's Power Piccolo. You feel good when you play them. They don't do anything crazy off the bat, right? They just sit there and they slowly grind and give you value, But as far as having decks like that now, with the exception of the World Martial Arts Tournament cards, which we don't know exactly what the impact is going to be.
We can't win cards is new thing. We don't really understand.
Exactly, and it can be run over now that everyone's now backshifted to Hurdigarn as a safe pick, right? As a pick that we know for sure, no matter whether World Martial Arts Tournament becomes relevant or not, that deck will be 100% top tier.
That's funny. This guy said he thinks the champion pack Bardock will be excellent side against Cell. Well, you're not wrong, but we have to mention a Fu.
Yeah, to mention
and He's just solid, period.
No.
He gets rid of any answer that's not barrier.
Does the champion pack cost any energy?
No,
to play?
it's 5.
So,
Overall 5.
so it's just 0
I don't
energy
even know if
and-
he's double strike, but like I just know he gets rid of only 6 and higher. So there's cards you want to get rid of, like the Bardock blocker. That's a 4-drop. You know, he can't touch it, but Dimensional Fu, as much as it costs 1,
So you're telling me
it's worth it.
Bardock can't remove Bardock? Oh, okay.
Bardock can't remove. Yeah. Oh, cute. So that's something that's
It'll
there.
probably cause
And
a
it's gonna
paradox.
be awesome. Yeah, no, Pan's gonna be good, but the announcer seems like a better Pan. Just putting it out there.
It really does.
Finally tapping for cards have consequences. Yes, it does. You are 100% right.
We have to learn how to play DBS again. Nice. Okay.
Bandai wants to push martial arts tournament. Good for the meta as well as people playing it. Very true.
Always push new product, guys. I mean, if you're gonna make new product and it's gonna be irrelevant, what's the point, right?
Yeah. No one should buy it.
Very true. Yeah, blue, yellow, Rudigan will be good. Good guess.
Yes.
4 energy would be a matter. SS3 would unionize them. What's up? What you want to read?
Yeah, how would you feel if SS3 had a stronger energy restriction, like you could only place up to 4 energy? Now, Peter was talking about it, like how you can go and make it so that it could only untap 3, or you were talking about it. One of you guys mentioned
I said
it to
once
me.
per game.
Once per game, you untap 3 or something.
And that's huge because you know what? They introduced once per game with
the World Tournament announcer. Yeah.
Announcer has once per game, which was weird at first, and I'm like, you know what? It is a strong ability.
Yeah.
So SS3 could be everything it's supposed to do, where restrict to 4 and restrict to 6, objection turn 1, but literally once per game on tap 3. So it's huge. So in a big play where at this point now it takes skills, you're like, okay, I gotta drop this guy and I'm tap 3. Not that it will kill the card, but at least not every turn are they gonna have 3 mana open. They have to decide when.
I always thought that permanent you can only place up to 6 energy was like irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like I think it was created during a time where people started playing 7 drops and 8 drops still, and then like a few sets later that's
It's irrelevant. Yeah.
6 energy is like overkill at that point. If you can only go to 4 energy, that would be much more balanced because Vegito doesn't get the draw, and you can never play the 6-drop.
But you would still have blue green.
Fist.
You would still have blue green though.
Yeah, blue green would be okay.
Like
it wouldn't be
it
as strong
still
as
would
it
be
was. It wouldn't be as strong as it was.
No, you're not wrong. If it was restricted to 4 energy, that would be wild. But I feel
think
like
it would be fair if it did that.
it still would do everything it needs to do. Even the red blue or green blue, doesn't matter what version. With 4 energy, he's fine.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's such a shame, man.
Set 1 Golden Frieza, Peter? You think that's possible?
The best leader in the game? No, it's not.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna make more army.
Bro,
Frieza army
please.
cards.
They have to, yeah, of course. Because they have Sorbet bringing back
leader
Golden
and all that
Frieza.
stuff.
with
Yeah, and the leader is actually Frieza Army. But when it's
really?
Yeah, it's Frieza Army.
Okay, so you can play Cold Bloodlust.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's something nice to have. Yeah, I hope they make new ones because that's my favorite leader. I love playing that leader. But here's the hoping.
Yeah.
U7 Gohan, you think that could be a viable? I know you were on U7 Gohan for a little bit, right?
Danny Hype actually just brought it to his regional in Canada and got 9th place.
Nice. I mean, out of 50 players, but that's
Yeah. It still 16 at least.
small local, but whatever, he got there.
Slightly larger.
Canada really slacking with their regionals, but you can't blame them.
I really thought that Gohan was probably one of the best aggro decks until Vegito came out. With Vegito, it has no answer and it can't deal with it. Period. Point blank. You have to beat them before the 4-drop comes out.
Yeah.
That deck just falls behind way
Vegito
too
card
big.
has really defined this meta, in my opinion.
Define this meta?
Yeah.
It's been a problem and gave mid-range hope against aggro.
Yeah, it defines a meta. Like, if you play the card, you just beat the aggro players if they can't get over it. That's defining a meta. I'm pretty sure.
I agree with Death Sparse here. There's not really a good way to errata SS3 with this card stating the max number of energy changing.
Yeah.
That number with an errata is too confusing for new and newer players. I agree. We want to keep this. This game is only about a year old plus.
Yeah.
You don't want to get people into the game. Man, I love SS3. Let me read the effect. Let me read what's on the card. Okay, yeah, that seems really good. You go to your local. No, I'm sorry, man. It actually does this now. It's just devastating.
You're
just
right,
devastating.
because it would affect newer players. But
Devastating.
right now, without trying to change anything, it's affecting the players you have now. So let's not worry too much about the newer players. Understand that you have a game that hundreds, thousands of people play. I want to say millions, but that sounds too high. But you have a lot of players, and they are mad about this card. Settle us first. And then worry about new players.
But I think BANLIST is a little bit easier because then it's just like, okay, you can't use this card as opposed to this card does something completely different than what was stated on the card. I think banning, I mean, like, cards' lives don't matter. You know, they're not living people. You know, it's not going and like killing a person. It's like, you know, it's just banning a card. Killing a card is fine.
But what if
you
you wasted $6 on a foil?
I'm sorry, dude.
That happened today, actually, on one of our orders. They brought it up. Our order manager is like, "Oh, somebody bought a foil SS3 today." Well, things happen. You could always refund things. You know, it's not the end of the world, I believe. But you know, I feel like limiting and banning cards is definitely the way to go, as opposed to errata. You don't want to have another full. You have your encyclopedia or your Oracle text, right, for all these cards, and then you have a separate document, right, now that you have all these cards that from the original effect we changed them. You know, so it looks a little bit.
100% understand what you're talking about. So how do you fix this card?
Just rip it. I can't rip it on stream.
But like, how do you fix that? Because now you're saying ban and restriction.
Yeah.
But this is the problem of Yu-Gi-Oh.
I think it's fair to ban this card. Okay. I think it's fair to ban this card and this one and this one, and it's okay. Make it big. Make it big like Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh has like 30, huge. 40, 50 cards on their ban list.
You're right, but like,
and it's fine.
That's money.
It's a new game.
But money. That's too much money to ban.
I mean, how much is a deck right now? Like when you go onto one of these deck building websites, Shenron's Lair, for example, and they give you a total cost for your deck. Every deck that I build is $150 to $200.
Okay, that's way cheaper than other card games.
Yeah, like in Magic, you have to spend $500, and then in a year, your cards are worth $20 max. And it happened to me in Return to Ravnica. I was playing like a blue. I don't know. It was like with the Sphinx Revelation. It was like blue. Whatever.
Right.
Sphinx Revelation, the card itself, was like $25. Rotation hit, and it was like $1. Detention spheres were like $5-6. Rotation, 25 cents, 10 cents. Yeah. Like, it happens. Whatever. I mean, it's better than your cards being completely worthless. You know?
But at least you had heads up to know that thing was going to happen. Rotation was going to happen.
I didn't know the prices were going to be that crazy though. That's super scary.
This game can't rotate
because they haven't decided on a certain like mechanic that their game follows. Like, do we errata? Do we ban? Do we limit? Like, what's going on? They've done every single one.
That's what's called playtesters, and they need that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bandai.
Playtest your game. I mean, we know that you haven't playtested your game, and I have thoughts that you would do it. I have thoughts that you will progressively get there, and I get it for you not wanting to do it straight off the bat because you thought your card designers would be able to figure this out without it actually being put into an actual field of play. But we have the assets to do it. We have wonderful players. We have wonderful content providers. We have people that are willing to test out your game before you actually have to go and make mistakes and use your eraser a million times and start erasing cards effects and changing things from how you wanted it to, which is reasonable for a game that's been out for a year, right? This isn't like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon or Magic where it's been out forever and then they have mistakes and it's just like they know how to approach it already because they've been there, done that. This is a little bit new learning curve. First they're like silver bullet, first they're like erratas, then silver bullets, and then limitations, and now bannings, right?
Yeah,
so they're testing everything, and eventually, I believe in Bandai, after this first year, after this first national championship, right? Let's get this out of the way. Then they go and they get X amount of people, get some people from PPG, get some people from KTM, get some people from that just love the game and are unaffiliated, right? And have done this probably before for Naruto, because I know Naruto had this playtesting group, and just be like, okay,
they had a playtesting group?
Yeah, for Naruto. Yeah, but the thing is,
failed that bad?
Well, the thing is, we weren't existent around Naruto, so we'll use that excuse.
I understand
and ARG didn't carry Naruto either, so we'll attribute it to PPG and ARG not being the driving forces between that game. But now you have players that are professional and are sponsored by teams and stuff, and those are the guys that should probably have the best outlook, and that's why people look to you guys for information, right? Because you guys are the ones, this is your job to play. So Anyways,
Fire
that with
Naruto.
with that with that being said, I played Naruto too, but I was a wee little boy. I was like 12, 13, I don't even know. But I loved the game. It was fantastic. I loved it. I loved the game. It was fantastic. But I didn't know the problems because I was just a casual.
Yeah.
You know, so I didn't know the problems. I was just like, man, this is fun. You know, and I'm sure that's a lot of people playing Dragon Ball Super now. They don't really know the problems.
That makes sense.
Play.
I see people in our locals where you can see they have fun playing this game, but you look at the deck, you're like, ugh. And you don't take that away from them. You know, you let them play, you have fun, and they're having a great time, but they don't know the real world out there. They don't know the event of how bad this deck can be, how bad it's going to lose to what's meta. And that's true. That makes sense of the difference between a casual and competitive player. It's true. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of viewpoints on things, and I think that they're learning. They're not really taking, one step forward and two steps back, how people think that they are. They're just trying different things, right? Okay, this didn't work, let's try this. This didn't work, let's try this. This didn't work, let's try this. And they're communicating with us back and forth. I wish they would communicate with us and tell us, like, what they're going to do and what we feel about it, which they have with certain things, like floor rules, for example. They're like, what do you think about these new floor rules? And we're like, this is fine, or no, this is bad. And then they'll wait for our response before they post it. This one, they were like, they shot us an email at like 2 a.m. and they were like, hey, this is what's going to happen. Don't tell anybody yet. And then they posted it like 3 hours later. And they didn't really give any time to us be like, hold on, this is probably not what you should do. Or, yeah, that's great. They didn't wait for any type of response like that. So they're learning. It's little by little. The communication needs to get a little bit better, and they need to have the playtesting group. Yeah, the playtesting group is fantastic. Yes, we'll be at Bandai. We'll be at Atlanta. They'll be at Atlanta. So we'll talk with them and see exactly what can happen. That's going to be a great time, by the way, guys. If you guys are going to Atlanta, this restriction will be legal for that event. It's going to be the first premier event with this banning, right? So any regionals that go on this weekend, for example, the ARG, they still have to bear with SS3. We'll probably see like 40-50 copies in it. I mean, 40-50% minimum in the top cut. And then you will see at our event, our event's probably going to be massive for Rudigon. We won't know because World Martial Arts Tournament will also be legal. So not only will we have this ban, we'll have World Martial Arts Tournament. I'm sure a lot of people will want to try it out and actually make the deck, popular and stuff like that. But, time will tell. I really like the position that they're going in, and every single decision that they've made, I haven't been like 100% Bandai, you did it great, but it's been a learning curve, and I think it's just, they've been learning things from each thing that they go forward. So we'll see how it goes.
I'm really trying to read this last one that someone wrote. It's not that is their job, it's because
the pros are good at this game,
and goods insane at this game. At the game, he wrote that.
Are good and insane. I mean, well, he meant to say.
Okay. Is that because I'm reading it like the way I know how to read English, which is not that good, by the way. And I was just lost.
Not very good.
Because pros are good, insane at the game. Okay, I see. But yeah, playtests are still very helpful. Let's see what else. Let's see. Bardock is fine with Errata. Thank you. We think alike. How do you know that illusion pieces of paper don't have feelings? It's a guess, really.
It's just here and there.
Agree with the banning. No, this guy plays Vanguard. You feel the card and it talks to you and stuff. Erratas are
Peter knows because he plays Vanguard.
I do.
He knows how to sort them out.
It's very fun. Horrible game though. But let's say it's hard for new players to come in. Let's not get into that. Can't do right now. A few cards. Can't do that right now. And yeah, that's very true. He's talking about rotations at that point. My local died down because of swap 1, 2, 3, and that's just, yep, it's understandable. Things were going to die down because of the game is in a state where it's fixable, but they need to fix it now. If they keep waiting, more and more people are just going to like die down. You're going to have the competitive players play because they want the name, because that's really all we play for. And then you have the local casual players not wanting to play because they're like, oh, it's always the same thing. SS3, 1, 2 swap. All right. Now SS3 is gone, but there's still 1, 2 swap. That hasn't changed. But not in a negative point of view. It's a beautiful day outside, guys.
We actually, it's crazy. In our locals, we don't even have anybody playing 1-2 swap anymore. We're just like, we all like kind of made a silent vow. Yeah, unspoken rule, right? It's just, it's just everyone play. I was playing Xenomaidens for one, and then I played Pan on the next one, and I got destroyed horribly. But I got there with Xenomaidens actually. It's a really fun deck, really cool.
No, definitely.
We got 2 good.
Peter, you're gonna qualify for Pokemon Worlds this year? Bummed he missed it. I was bummed too. He was like 5-0 at one point. He had smashed Peter Kitka. He was smashing Worlds competitors. He was beating all these like pros. I'm like, what's going on?
I didn't have enough time to test. I only went up for a challenge that Peter Kitka did, and
I only saw you play Pokemon 2 or 3 times before that.
Like that week, I only played 2-3 times. I played like once on Thursday, like a few hours on Friday, and then Saturday, I'm like, let's do it. Cool. All of a sudden, 4-0, and then mistakes started happening where I'm like, 190, and the guy's like, that's 160. Don't ask. Some bad math happened, so it cost me the game. Next one, horrible matchup, like just bad elements. I lost. Okay, understandable. Didn't care. And the highlight of that day, round 7, X2. I can't afford another loss. I'm play. Round 1, I win. Round 2, we go into time. So turn 0, 1, 2, 3. Turn 2, I realize I can't kill him. He can't kill me. It's going to be a draw. So I scooped him like, I guess it's a draw. Scooped it, not realizing that since I won game 1, I won the whole match. But since I scooped, I gave it to him the win, and we drew, which blew me away. I completely messed up that event because of that. Yeah, it was the worst thing ever. So, won't happen again. I barely go into time, so like I didn't realize, even though it's the same rule of Dragon Ball Z. Oh,
yeah.
well.
I think DBS discussion turned to a Pokemon discussion.
My bad. No more. But yeah.
It was a question.
The interaction between that massive.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I told him the same thing. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
I want to know about that though.
What's up?
The Black Mass Saiyan?
Okay, which one?
Which is like Vegeta, but like masked.
Okay, yeah.
The little 1-drop says if your opponent summons something using a non-keyword auto.
Yeah, like ability, free combos and GT Trunks. What about it?
Like, that person asked if Clan of Terror or Time Kicker cards go off, does it actually make them -2 cards out of their hand?
Which one?
Right above that one.
Right here. Guys, do you know the interaction with Marcel and Vegeta and Clan of Terror? Who's Clan of Terror?
The one that
cute.
You played it, yeah.
And you pick one that's under 15k.
Yeah.
Your opponent is technically the one playing it. You're just choosing.
Yeah, no, of course.
So,
that would activate.
-2, so
yeah, that would definitely activate. There's no way it won't.
Time Kicker, they're playing it technically at the end of their turn.
It makes sense.
And it goes up. Now,
I would say yes.
The question is change that. How does that work?
It negates the effect, but I feel like the auto already activated because the auto activated when chain check trucks. Problem is, Pan ruined the rulings on this of how autos work, so
I choose the order and stuff.
Yeah, you might be able to choose the order. Who knows?
Yeah, like before the Vegeta ever triggers chain attack, like skips over it and negates it. Like it's gonna be bad, and hopefully they address it because we don't have the answers.
So I'm pretty sure
Bandai's gonna be in Atlanta, so we could talk to them before.
They wouldn't know either. We're gonna ask them to be like, I don't know, that's the game design.
Well, they gotta make.
Why did they designed this card for a reason? I want to know why.
Well, they gotta make that ruling for sure.
But that card is insane though.
Yeah, I like it.
It's strong.
It's my boy Vegeta. Cool.
Oh no, that's not the reason he has a mask. I didn't realize that. Let's see. Peter's gonna qualify. Okay, no, not that. What's the best Harudagon blue yellow counter in your opinion? In your opinion, what's the best counter?
Just play full power energy decks.
Full power, it's not enough.
You gotta play full power energy and speedy surprise attack. I mean, it's not.
It's the only option you have. But when they go first, they have 2 mana. You have 1. That means you have 1 negate.
I prefer.
It's not enough.
Sensibean, just like Sensibean, survive their turn, and the next turn just try to retain board advantage. Like kill their board with like a Mass Saiyan, pop.
But it's not fun when you're holding like 4 cards in your hand. They're holding 10. You're like, all right, and then you have to pass
if you
and survive
if you're
again.
holding 4 cards in your hand, you gotta ask yourself, how did you get here?
I had to defend.
There's no way.
I defended with Sensu Bean.
1 bean is good enough.
It's not, Babu. It's really not. Bean is cute. It's not bad, but it's not enough. That deck is just absurdly good. It's not even good. It's unfair.
I've never really had a problem with it.
No? Maybe you're a professional. I'm not. Oh well. Gotta convince myself to hop on Vanguard. No, I would not. I play Vanguard, but anyone that I tell them, oh, you want to play Vanguard? I'll lend them the deck so they can learn. Oh, is it fun? No. I'm always honest about it, too. The game is not fun at all. But
you still play.
I still play it because, you know what, like, there's some fun for me, but, like, I know people who, 1, don't take losses well, 2, don't like RNG. In this game, that game has to do with complete luck. It's 100% base luck, but whatever. And the worst part is Vanguard players fight that. They're like, no, it's not. You need some skill. Yeah, I guess on columns, but whatever. I'm mostly my fault. He wasn't ready. I don't know what that is. Oh, okay, that's Roach. Funny. I needed one day more. Peter would have one for sure. Thank you, my man. Thank you. Boy, what leader do you run in Blue Control now?
Blue Control, you got 3 leaders. You got Hyrudigarn, Iron Vow, and then Starter Goku.
Starter Goku. And you also have Trunks. Trunks is still a deck that it's a fast deck.
Which Trunks? The one that combos and draws?
Yeah, it's still a deck.
That's not a control deck.
Oh, very fair.
Deck.
Oh, you're right. Urugan can be controlled. Let's see.
Because
whoever
he
chains
has
down
discard when he gets to 4 energy, so he won't ask you go mid range with him.
The email with Bandai Confirm is an email.
Yeah, it's an email. I don't
they messed up a bunch of times in emails. They did that for Black Goku, which was an amazing email, where if you activated Black Goku's effect to get an extra energy and then you awoken, you don't lose that energy. That was an email too, but emails are not a real thing.
Black Goku instead of Goku Black. What is up with that?
Black Goku, Goku Black?
Man,
because they know exactly what I'm talking about. Brother Marcel
doesn't matter.
Yajimarobi. Just tune in. What deck is unfair? Unfair Haruto.
Every SS3 deck. So that's why it's gone.
Every blue-yellow package deck.
What is this word?
Variance.
Variance is too great in that damn game. What game are we talking about?
Vanguard probably, because you were talking about Vanguard for like 20 minutes.
Oh no, that wasn't 20 minutes. 5. Yeah, you're right. My bad. What about Zamasu? Think it could be viable?
Zamasu?
Yeah, no, it's cute.
He's blue, so there's that.
They're gonna drop you down.
You're already one step away.
The problem is they're gonna drop you down to 1 life quick. Quick.
1 life is fine because.
No, and then what? You mill 15 cards, Lex? That's what you have.
Billion cards.
Yeah, because you're a 10 power leader until you're at 2 life, and then you can awaken. But they're just.
You'll take all the cards and it's in your hand now.
So and I still only have 1 energy.
That's fine.
What you mean? It's fine. That's fine. It's not fine, man.
What are we gonna play for Atlanta? You're clueless. World Martial Arts Tournament. We're just not. We don't like untap a lot, so we just play with the cards in hand, which we're actually going to do some Battle Series videos. We're going to post one on YouTube, and we're going to post one on Patreon. Patreon's going to have the more competitive one. YouTube's going to have the very for fun one. We have some very fun decks built, and we have some very competitive decks built. Yeah. So for those of you on the Patreon, make sure you subscribe. A lot of good things down the road. Nationals is around the corner. If you want our decks right before we play them, like we always post them, make sure you stay subscribed for that. There's a lot of good content on there. We've been posting very aggressively now that Marcel's moved down to Miami. Woo! We have so much more content coming out. Now not only do we have Peter, we have Marcel, we have Juan Brand, we have myself, we have Justin Rios, and we have a lot of time to actually put into these things, especially with World Martial Arts Tournament coming out. There's so many ideas that are going to be floating around, especially in his head. He loves new things.
Yeah,
so
there's new cards for Bobbity, so I'm interested.
Yeah.
It's not good, but I like Bobbity.
Yeah, he's gonna try to rebuild that Majin Buu, that Bobbity deck with Bobbity's spaceship and all that stuff. Cute. Super cute. But we'll see. Make sure you guys stay tuned, of course, to our YouTube and to our Patreon. We're gonna be pumping out a lot of content now that World Martial Arts gets here. It gets here today, so we're gonna do product openings. We're gonna do a few deck profiles and battle series today, and then tomorrow we have some more battle series and more decks because there's many decks that we have. I don't think we could fit it all in one deck.
Why is blue green gonna be good? Gonna be nuts.
Oh, Marcel's actually got a really nice build for Patreon probably. I don't know. Who knows?
It's not blue green. It's blue.
It's just blue. Yeah, not even blue green. But
well, I'll think about it.
Yeah, we'll look at blue green too. But there's a lot of cool stuff, like we said, guys. There's a lot of stuff that's gonna pump out. Thank you guys again for watching. This is the SS3 discussion. We'll be back some other time. We got to get back to the drawing board. We got to get that World Martial Arts cracked up. We got to give you guys the content. So thank you guys again for staying with us during this whole time. Appreciate it. Till next time, we out.